I'm sitting here with one of the winners of the Ungoverned book competition, and Andie Billingsley. You've been writing for quite some time now.
I have, yes. I've been writing for, I don't know, it's coming up on, well, about this world specifically for, what, 4 years now?
That's crazy that you've built so much over so long. We were talking before the show, and you were telling me how many details have gone in and how much your little world has evolved.
Yeah, definitely. It's, really hard to build like entire worlds because there's so many things to focus on. Mm-hmm. There's like the peoples themselves, their cultures, their governments, their cities, just everything. And, even after all these years, it actually doesn't feel like I've gotten that much done on it, which is crazy considering just how much time, lying in bed awake at night I've spent thinking about it and things like that.
Yeah, and how many details go into just what makes us us, and then trying to create all of these people. It's so fascinating to me. I'm not a very creative person, so unfortunately I just don't have that in me to sit there and write about it. But it's amazing that you do, and you are so lucky that you have such an incredible talent. So how did you even hear about the competition at the Bookworm?
I think originally my history teacher, Miss Cope-Tate, or Kim Cope-Tate, mentioned it in our history class because she is one of the judges and she is closely connected to the Bookworm, and she is a published author and playwright, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
I mean, it's pretty cool that you're only 17 and you have something published.
I know, right? I think that's amazing. I honestly did not expect to win.
So can you tell us a little bit about your short story? What inspired you to start with this world that you started so many years ago, and kind of what brought this short story to you in particular?
Well, the world itself actually started with one character, this character named Rowan, who is this sort of ice cold personality, but she manipulates fire. So I thought that was a really interesting contrast all those years ago, and it started out with a whole bunch of characters, and then eventually I was like, I need a world for these characters to be in, otherwise it's just kind of whatever. So I started out Divinia. And the story itself, that actually, recently I've been playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, my shirt.
Nice.
Favorite Dungeons and Dragons show. And a lot of these, actually all of the characters in it, are Dungeons and Dragons characters that I've created and have thought a lot about, because it's like if I got a chance to play them, who would they be, and that actually really helps in the writing process. And so there's this one named Daziel who is this sort of elven bard dude. I was like, it'd be really fun to make a kind of heist story with him and a couple of the other characters, just to see how their interests kind of conflict with each other and things like that.
That's so cool, and I love when you're reading a book or something. I like to read, and when you're reading a book about a certain setting and you really go to that setting, you put yourself completely there and you're completely lost in the story or book. I cannot wait to get my hands on your story and read it. I have to go to the Bookworm and buy the book. So do you have any plans to continue your writing career? Yes, actually,
that sort of segment kind of inspired me to kind of start writing a longer story, a much longer story about, all of these characters and sort of the trouble they get into. In this case, they will be fighting a, as of now, unnamed kind of demon lord who has all sort of affected their lives horribly in some way, and, it should be fun.
Well, Andie, I look so forward to seeing your name on the bookshelves one day, so that way I can pick up one of your books and say I got to meet you when you were young and 17 and beautiful and just about to go off to college.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've got so much more Good Morning Vail coming your way. We're going to take a look at that full weather forecast with Ashley in just a minute.